President Mahama has formed, he has formed arguably one of the biggest or largest governments in the history of our country as it relates to the cost on the national exchequer. Mr. Speaker, why do I say this? Take, for example, the President has appointed Dr. Valerie Sawyer as Senior Presidential Advisor in charge of Government Affairs. Her rank is a Cabinet Minister who doubles as a Member of Parliament. So her salary, her emolument, conditions of service, everything to do with her office is at the same rank as a Cabinet Minister who doubles as a Member of Parliament. The Speaker, he's appointed a Presidential Advisor on Economy, appointed Presidential Advisor for 24-hour economy, Presidential Advisor in Special Aid to the President, Presidential Advisor on National Anti-Corruption Program, Presidential Advisor on Diaspora Affairs. Mr. Speaker, he goes on to appoint Presidential Advisor, Presidential Staffer, and Special Aid to the Vice President, Presidential Staffer for Black Star Experience, and then Presidential Staffer for Diaspora Affairs. Mr. Speaker, then he goes ahead to appoint 5 policy advisors to the Vice President. Mr. Speaker, he tells the country that he's appointed a minister in charge of agribusiness, and yet he's appointed director at the presidency in charge of agriculture and agribusiness. My good friend Peter Buama Otukono. Mr. Speaker, he says he will not appoint deputy regional ministers, and he appoints 16 presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of our country. Mr. Speaker, I want to submit that these presidential staffers in charge of the 16 regions of our country, in essence, as it relates to the cost on the national exchequer, are in fact, indeed, and in substance, deputy ministers of state. Mr. Speaker, he then appoints, Mr. Speaker, listen carefully, please. Mr. Speaker, he then appoints 1 presidential advisor on media, 4 directors of communication at the office of the President, 5 deputy directors of communication, 2 communication specialists, 5 technical communication assistants, 1 media aide, 1 assistant media liaison officer, 1 communications consultant. That's because I've done the mathematics, and I want to submit. That's because I've done the mathematics that I want to submit, and I do this not from a partisan lens, but I do this as somebody who had the privilege and honor to serve as Deputy Chief of Staff. I know how it works. In terms of the cost on the national exchequer, the President has appointed 100 ministers and deputy ministers. That's because the President has established a Ministry of Youth Development. That's because I want to refer the House.
Right, Honorable Speaker. Despite our commitment to increase the non-oil tax revenue by 0.6%, we have programmed the following nuisance taxes for removal in line with our manifesto promise. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on winning from lottery, otherwise known as the betting tax. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy, of 1%. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 10% withholding tax on betting. We will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy, of 1%. We will abolish the emission levy, otherwise as in Wusie tax. We will abolish the VAT on motor vehicle insurance policy. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 1.5% withholding tax on unprocessed gold by small-scale miners. Mr. Speaker, the removal of these taxes will ease the burden on households and improve their disposable income. Right Honorable Speaker, the removal of these taxes will ease the burden on households and improve their disposable incomes. In addition, it will support business growth and improve tax compliance. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, the tax refund account has been abused in recent years. In the last 8 years, a study revealed that 29.1 billion Ghana cedis had accrued to the tax refund account, with only 12.5 billion Ghana cedis, representing 43% of the total accrued amount, being used for tax refund purposes. Mr. Speaker, the study also revealed that 16.6 billion Ghana cedis, representing 57% of the total amount accumulated in the tax refund account, was misapplied. Mr. Speaker, which is a total violation of the Revenue Administration Act, Act 915, and the Public Financial Management Act. Instructively, Mr. Speaker, there were virtually no tax refund arrests over the period. Mr. Speaker, and therefore, we are reducing the current tax refund ceiling by 2 percentage points from 6% to 4% of total revenue, as defined in Section 69 of the Revenue Administration Act, Act 915. Mr. Speaker, by reducing the ceiling on the tax refund from 6% to 4%, Right Honorable Speaker, we have saved the taxpayer 3.8 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this amount is enough to close the revenue shortfalls from the removal of the e-levy and the betting levy. Mr. Speaker, the e-levy would have accrued 1.9 billion Ghana cedis, and the betting tax would have accrued 180 million. The two put together is just above 2 billion Ghana cedis. By reducing the tax refund account from 6 to 4, it is enough to remove this tax, and the savings will be provided to take care of social interventions. Mr. Speaker, already we have saved 3.8 billion cedis for 2025 alone from one source, and this is enough to close the gap from the taxes we have removed today. Mr. Speaker, to address the concerns from well-meaning Ghanaians on how we are going to close the revenue shortfalls as a result of the removal of the selected taxes, the answer is that we have stopped the bleeding. We have stopped the bleeding. Mr. Speaker, accordingly, with this budget, we will amend the Revenue Administration Act 2016, Act 915. This measure will improve the tax revenue net of tax refund by 2%, representing 0.3% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, in line with government policy, the 2025 minimum wage recently negotiated with the National Tripartite Committee will be zero rated. This is consistent with our resolve to protect the poor and the vulnerable. Mr. Speaker, again, without increasing the levy, we will also review the Energy Sector Levies Act to consolidate the energy debt recovery, the Energy Sector Recovery Levy, and the Sanitation and Pollution Levy into one levy and use the proceeds to cater for energy sector shortfalls and service the inherited debt service obligation. Mr. Speaker, the reset has just begun. We have achieved a lot in this short time, and our commitment to reform will not waver. Those who doubt our resolve should not underestimate the determination of the people of Ghana, who will no longer tolerate ineffective governance. Together, we will navigate these turbulent times and emerge stronger. Mr. Speaker, we are making serious progress. Right Honorable Speaker, we are making progress. We committed to running a lean, efficient government of 60 ministers. Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to scrapping the e-levy. We have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we committed to scrapping the betting tax. We have delivered. Right Honorable Speaker, we committed to eliminate academic fee for first-year public tertiary students. We have delivered.
Ana ewiei yesin konwa e wo fiduam ha se ya yade ba besi wabobua no na wonso wo chefa wo e wo san komo we mu no wonso watimi e de atachire na yade ne san kakran yade ye ne mupefe se wo man Ghana e betimi afa ne ntoma papa bi e de afra enti no emfa ho ne aban a wote so emfa ho ne party kura aban free mu o e na afei emfa ho ne wo mpeso aso mra hyebadwani a watu abama no a wogina wanamu e omra hyebadwafie na watimi ahyemra ama emprempren wo so watimi adi so no se yetimi putu government on checks na fe anamo awodo a eye aban a wote so etuo nyina no yetimi de ani di akire a enkakran beboa ama wo man no nso atimi afa ne ntoma papa bi enso atimi edi efra abusua wasade ewomu ene wo chefa ewomu ayade wanya se yakekire wo man a enye nipa ya to abama no nko na ye na sudie na sade se wotimi bu ahwema wo man no enso atimi enya anamo papa bi agina so yaya ye to sante no kokoto abada no ada yaya ene ya ye kasai bosome so a yaketua beba ne ate yentoɔ yɛyɛ enei ene ya bibia beto bia no yɛteto kakran de ato ne yɛtimi aboa no na yade eto aman ne mpo nyina no ɛyɛ yɛnyina yasɛde ne asodie sɛ yɛtimi bɔ moden na ene amamu a empempren aban ade maye no yɛtimi de ani de akire kakran ne sɛnti awia so yɛatena se and of course aha ena ɛyɛ wo man nyina no edin komo aha ena Ghana nyina kasa aha ena wo man nyina no nso etie awiei yana production team na say Samuel Dingo 1,000 abrantie wo bon homodin ye pa na ni bra adwuma wo ye pa same nyame enhira ogina cameras na chi badges e wo MCR ochirema ba ASN chill and so a type program na chi den executive producer e Barima ba Nana Kunadu Abupra Mana Prek a technician on duty and awiei midindi Osikani FrimpongManso Osi abusia awiei and yatena sie ya basa ye ba ababesom me pa chow join the conversation with your WhatsApp and have a text message 0248 071 174 0248 071 174 kaina channel so say jumadie I am live on all our social media platforms. And you know, Oko Facebook, I am Western Diamond Television. Facebook, I am Western Diamond Television. Udruwana, one like here page. And I feel when you're daji, etimi actual comment, you know, and so they are tumu. Uyana, what pia message in etiko. And the cancer video ha. The Bajibrania can count 170 na, and so etimi ede ama. But mading, na share link, you know. Mafo fraka enso enya broadcast so emfaso ufro na do YouTube nso a program no live ewo ho Western Diamond Television on YouTube Western Diamond Television on YouTube udru ana wa subscribe to your channel no say ye beyo a ye benya subscribers bebrebe na yetimi apemade akoya nimu TikTok nso ye available ewo ho and also Western Diamond Television enti baby a ye wo ho live on TV, Western Diamond Television, live on radio, would to me 101.3. And some eguapono so. The minority in parliament, and ye anopay, one more ebo modern reference and trophy shiamu. Adanwada, and the 2024 budget statement and economic policy. And yet, we're mindful to some for Dr. Kezel Atoba forcing. I come Rashaba the fear, now what to me, Edico 2 Jano. Minority no ese eniema bi wo ho a nanka wo mo hwa ni mu se the finance minister ebetimi abohu nkro ene the indicators no figures no and afei the pointers no bia na eko nyina no ebi wo ho a ene finance minister no se wonim no hada bu na ne gu so se den yo wa moho wa ebi nso ho nso ankomo oboye no enye sa na tienti no ene anopai wɔn friends and ntwerɛfoɔ nhyia mu a wɔn de ɛyɛ nsɛm ahodoɔ a wɔn nso sɛ ɛna ɛsɛ sɛ ɛba budget no mu no wɔn de ɛto dwa na awia yɛ atena aseɛ yi yɛbɛnya adagye na yɛtumi atie nsɛm no bi na yɛdɔ nsɛm no mu asukɔ yie na afei yɛtumi apagya nkɔmmɔ no ɛde ɛsi baabi a bɛnya wo ho nteaseɛ prɛko pɛ sɛ wɔman yɛkyekyereyɛ no ɛneɛ afanu no nyinaa no ɛde ɔmadwenkyerɛ ba na yɛtumi ɛde agu apa so yɛsɔ ne so neɛ ɛbɛboa wɔman na ma wɔman no to mpɔn no yɛtumi afa ɛno na yɛde ayɛ adwuma ɛnti na awia yi the big one ɛyɛ minority press conference a wɔn etimi ɛyɔɔyɛ ɛno da nkyɛn so a still on the budget no yɛbɛbɔ mɔden na yɛtimi ahwɛ nneɛma ahodoɔ bi a abɛyɛ ɔte so yi abusua wɔ promise yɛ na budget no deɛ yɛhunu yɛre sɛ saa nneɛma no nyinaa no wɔyi ne nyinaa no edi firi mu yɛbɛnya adagye na yɛdɔ saa asukɔ no yie ankasa ɛnɛ awia yi MCR yɛni kan from ɛyɛ minority press conference a wɔn ɛyɔɔyɛ. Now, it was addressed by 3 key figures in the minority group in Parliament. Honorable Kojo Pong Kroma Vincent, Honorable Abna Osei Asare, and the former Finance Minister, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam Anta. Penifemi and Saena, Omo Ejino Monaiso, na Omutimi address personal on the 2025 budget statement.
President Mahama, candidate Mahama, promising the next, don't worry. We'll continue the projects and finish them and employ you in them. Now, you are realizing that this is becoming an illusion. Not only is it worrying, not only is it contrary, but abandoning these projects or gives, you recall President Mahama, candidate Mahama, promising the next, don't worry, we'll continue the projects and finish them and employ you in them. Now, you are realizing that this is becoming an illusion. Not only is it worrying, not only is it contrary, but abandoning these projects or giving them out as franchises, like the President mentioned when he came to Parliament for SONA, will jeopardize the efforts at universal health coverage. The millions of citizens in remote districts who are looking forward to their lives being saved from this healthcare intervention are now at risk. Mr. President, we beg you in the name of God, please do not abandon the Agenda 111 project for political reasons. You recall President Mahama, candidate Mahama, promising the next, don't worry, we'll continue the projects and finish them and employ you in them. Now, you are realizing that this is becoming an illusion. Not only is it worrying, not only is it contrary, but abandoning these projects or giving them out as franchises, like the President mentioned when he came to Parliament for SONA, will jeopardize the efforts at universal health coverage. The millions of citizens in remote districts who are looking forward to their lives being saved from this healthcare intervention are now at risk. Mr. President, we beg you in the name of God, please do not abandon the Agenda 111 project for political reasons. You recall, President,
compensations budget was 1.28 billion. So assuming you add 10%, give or take, and then let's say it goes to 1.4 billion Ghana cedis for national security, and you add the 326 that existed in 2024, it comes to about 1.7 billion Ghana cedis. So there's a clear difference of $1 billion Ghana cedis added to a lean government's compensation. Ladies and gentlemen, we need answers. That is why I say that the budget lacks credibility, and so they should come again. On this note, I would like to invite my brother, Dr. Gideon Kwako, to take over from me. Thank you very much. Compensations budget was 1.28 billion. So assuming you add 10%, give or take, and then let's say it goes to 1.4 billion Ghana cedis for national security, and you add the 326 that existed in 2024, it comes to about 1.7 billion Ghana cedis. So there's a clear difference of $1 billion Ghana cedis added to a lean government's compensation. Ladies and gentlemen, we need answers. That is why I say that the budget lacks credibility, and so they should come again. On this note, I would like to invite my brother, Dr. Gideon Kwako, to take over from me. Thank you very much.
We must also note that our fiscal framework focuses on central government operations. Therefore, claims which have not been properly audited can introduce many elements of general government, which is what we think has happened. A classic example is the Comptroller and Accountant General's final accounts, which is one of the sources of information for the fiscal framework. but is based on general government accounting. So if you take the information from it on the face value and plug it into the fiscal framework, you will be reporting on two very distinct items. And so what we usually do at the Ministry of Finance is to work through the numbers and pick the central government expenditures only. This can only be done, ladies and gentlemen, through verification and auditing. It is therefore curious how the finance minister will come to Parliament with a budget and say that the fiscal deficit and primary deficit on commitment, which he announced, were derived using a certain data on claims, which he is yet to audit. Yet, he has announced results derived from the data to the effect that the economy was badly managed. It is too elementary to know that when you have not audited your figures, you cannot use them for an important work like the national budget. Otherwise, you create credibility problems for the conclusions of the budget, as the Honorable Atufosin has just done. And so you put 49.2 billion Ghana cedis in the fiscal framework to arrive at higher fiscal deficit. And then, in the same budget, you say that you are yet to audit the 49.2 billion Ghana cedis. So on what basis did you validate the 49.2 billion Ghana cedis before putting it in the data, which threw the fiscal deficit away? And you come and announce to the Ghanaian public that the government mismanaged the fiscals of the country. This is Azar, this is Sakawa. But colleagues, this is where it gets interesting. They have erroneously churned out this wrong data in a bid to tarnish the image of the MPP administration by including 49.2 billion Ghana cedis in expenditure claims without any basis. Before the start of the IMF program in 2023, we had agreed with the IMF to set the fiscal anchor based on which we will monitor the IMF program. And these were the fiscal balances on commitment basis, primary balance and overall fiscal balance. It was in a bid to have a real-time view on arrears accumulation. So we ring-fenced commitments that had gone through the gift mix system then and were awaiting payment. These commitments were termed outstanding expenditure claims. Thus, if you look at the 2022 budget outturn, you will see this concept in there. Per the IMF program, we then agreed to monitor the evolution of these claims vis-a-vis their net build-up. The reason for this approach is that Ghana is a developing nation with developmental needs. And so it was going to be unrealistic in the context of the program to not have new commitments. But the plan was to ensure that on net terms, the build-up remained almost neutral to avoid a significant build-up in arrears, which also hurts the economy. Also, it is important to note that if we look at the arrears clearance strategy prepared by the Ministry of Finance and submitted to the IMF in 2023, in fulfillment of the end September 2023 structural benchmark, the amount in expenditure claims, which we describe as arrears, was 47.5 billion Ghana cedis. This amount, after an aging profile analysis, had payments outstanding right from around 2012-2013. So while we do not doubt the possibility of accumulating some arrears between end 2022 and end 2024, given our own peculiar liquidity constraints, including outstanding expenditure claims gathered from MDAs, we are very surprised that this was done without first undertaking the correct verification or audit of the numbers, which the minister himself alluded to in his speech, paragraph 135, under 2025 expenditure measures, as something he now intends to do. Therefore, just lifting a certain stock of expenditure claims of 49.2 billion Ghana cedis and inserting it into the fiscal frame to create an impression as though all those claims were generated in 2024 It's not just including expenditures that are alien to the fiscal framework, but also shows a clear lack of understanding of the mechanics of the fiscal framework. But this is very surprising to us that the minister could do that, because we expected him to know. And if he doesn't know, we expected him to be advised by the technical people at the Ministry of Finance. The government, through the 2025 budget statement, churned out fiscal deficit on commitment basis of 7.6% of GDP and a primary deficit of 3.6% of GDP.
On the record, this is the true budget statement and economic policy, because when it is backed by data and utie the minority noa ni omo kenyina no and data ohwa ya de support utie de aban ebeka ye no a through the finance minister eduru ba bia na unu sa ha aha no ye twa na de etwa ha na abepeja ha de abesi ase na yetimi e de akoya nimu enti no awia the minority in parliament actually say budget statement no a finance minister de baye no ne necessary wo mu agana fo peso mu tie no nyina no wo mo afa ma awia minority no etimi e de aba yero akodwo mpon kroma erezi some case for a year President John Dramani Mahama and the finance minister the agenda 111 hospital project yakai in one of his campaign promises no wako a year the northern part of Ghana prior to the 2024 general elections now do one any wako a year nursing one of the nursing training colleges ewo na and someone who can nyina say monto aba ma me ba agenda 111 hospitals na ban dada no ehya ase nyina no a wanwie no me ba be wie na mafamo adwuma mu e wo sa hospitals ni mu waka sa asem we ya o tape no video no wo ho enei wanya tumi na wie budget ade ba ye mpo na ye ka se anka bomode allocate some funds for these projects. Now, you know, what there is no allocation specifically for the agenda 111 district hospitals. Nanado shas, you know, a byway allocate 1 person po. Say any a fear way any muno. Sikawe ya de kwakoye agenda 111 hospital project in Juma. When to me, yes, sir. I know that chance there were some other road infrastructure projects abandoned and shares here PTC interchange market circle and akwan wodua ewo region yimu abandoned and share bi ase a went me anwie anso ofra ban mu aban ba 2025 budget statement ni mu no wa allocate 1 person po to complete these projects awia yebisa asem Honorable Vincent Kojo Pon Kumasi was sra ban yi se enye hwe kura no a ene once amra biemu na wo momoden ontimi allocate some funds to see the continuation and the completion of the agenda 111 hospital project. Former Deputy Finance Minister Onbonyamfo Abnos Asare so make a case because data and finance minister no ade buy no said any referee say Gideon Boakomo Opon Kromamo Abnos Asare mo finance minister ho na womo edikan aye ho adwuma de dada etino data no womo nim data de dada na the obegina wa na wo keka ensem awodo anu wo keka nyina no he has been exposed and clearly say yesi ya de sana chichire wo man no a ebe de pa se wo man ne betumpon no kura wo ho de obeto ye no aden na wo fe no antudwa na wo painti a gloomy picture se abandada no antimi amobra bia economy no wa crash economy no meanwhile economy amose akrash no and 2024 you recorded a GDP growth rate of 5.7% for 2024 projections are by way adano ada in parliament was say afi economy na nyia no 4.4%. Na just say o tie abetire akanya hwe kura no de gina 5.7% no a wona aso say obi amon homoden a wonyaye no wonu a wo say wo de ni da so aba areshemu aba through sa budget ya de abai economic growth rate projections no say 4.4%. Ehn fa ne kasa asemwi mame kona me ma ye rajeni mbuaten aha na me ma na kwa aba esan se ensem we pa de ese timi nya adaje na ye dom asuko ka me ese ade na ye kotobeku ma o ye tie ba bi ye mpie ho asemo ye adwene ye ho anke ye pe obi a obetimi ahihye o ma ni yie enfie na ye de animu no Ghana fo se buo aha ne oba ye obese ade no ene obi abe ni yie ye nsan kofa ne mra so obetete no so obe ye ni yie so obe ni de yo ye nim ahyase mponie na ye ba be pagya ede asoa ofa ya awie maha
menyo so anua
na pom ti sei
nyame adom dia boko nua be
ye da nyame ase pa nyame ayebi
ye mo abaso
me da ase
when you producers
right
me be na unua be ma Eugene Buachi ye rapacha and your friend
no I see
constituency
that's right
o se me mo abaso na oba fie no wonu adi nkombo na ore adwuma na wo ye na it take a few men
right
omo akokoduro ene nokware ana betini ma yes argument sa bra unua be ma Eugene say obo abaso na onamo Isaac Buama so wo monitor na oba regiment mpanfo ta we na Osika yana nsem bi areho na yana nsem bi asefem se yetie ba bi na yasom dwuyen na yakofa de da ba fie na so ano pa koka me ne de me yampo anyame yadma Monday menya ne ntie se ahyentiade be kwosoro by 20
yes
to me radio
yo kromianti yana me bisa chairman Shen secondary trotro station kire ya mowa obeba out kire ya nkasa obechirem but close to 3 months ni amanfo ayedin ena na yehu asofom yenya atwom Osika so ka say nanaro ka say obesi ye kan say National Cathedral
that's right
yenya asofo authority aye ba ye haj ye kan say village won say obi asora aka say tia na nka ye dwene ane ye pe oman ni ye ya sa National Cathedral no was ebe serve as a tourism purpose yeni ye pese kwa Israel yeni ye pese ye kwa Rome Vatican na ye kwa hwe sibi o tire this kind of ebi rank ye be ye na the cost involved na ye for something million ye kan say dollars na so wan no what ni ye say ye tete bi agu ba bi awia once a hard board na say hard million you do 600 million
yeah
I no ebe self purpose just a year
101
say afi bia nsoin na nko ye bisa say obi si wo tunu kwa Ghana ban na fa wonka ye be chema kire Ghana for sa bere de ye won tete ho ana ye create awareness say achia na mu yi desen kasabebu nyina na nanke yenim say na John be ya enka ye ma edinimu suo den ekoy na ebre ne ye be ba sector by sector ye be yi nanum ansam na gu say o pa woturu ni number 1 Osi ye radon mahama
to me radio
opo bia on kan kware odada amanfo a ye radon mahama jena make us asemi say da no no obon to so onyi Ghana afo adwuma afo adi
that's right
ni tape ni wonom ye body a kire no okotra ba bi no say na dan kwa akufo ado say otua teacher ene nursing training allowance na wo keka bomu a say ska dodo nyina yetimi fa net for 14,000 eto amanfo adwenem say all can make sense say na make sense anyway abra last year ban nya financial crisis the year 2024 July say em finance for 15,200 the em for mo embra nurse mu na emesu emu na ye nurse to patient ye can say ratio no etimi ensin zo no abebe wo so won enkotena fie edija fo enya akwanya no ye so mo ntena fie na o me de menya ne TSS nyame aduma kene so mara audit yama audit nya aduma ne ensan from because ne wo call okere awu ye no you say bet ma restore ne nkwa back to life that's the question ye bizanti minority ne yensem agu na ye no was sensem we no ya me di yawo the new patriotic party for I'm telling you God's truth was an omo no mu tie na omo kan se mi communicators they are willing to come out to explain and your man for the past 3 months but obi ankasa obi ahun ani eja na nka ne ye ka ne nei na nka kire ye siwu nkonwa orientation kase pa because press conference ye nyene pa ba ko na ye once na ye financial ye kan say sector mun say something look at breakdown why papa Gideon Guapo edigu kwam na ye hwe maame former finance minister abron say ene ye papa lawyer mu a ni monyam ni kodu oponkroma na ade me den say na ye nkrofo ni die mu e do ma kire dem ye sre say ye nua ba ma Richard Ahmeaba so wo hwe ne a o ma nanje nti on ka jasin kodu agam na say on ka o mujam na o munya orientation ma community so mara me defend okay because no say ye jai ma sa ne mai e kwa sa o na ene ye ba nsem so we am prepare very well ye ba nsem so
very well ma ye na say honorable Vincent Kojo Oponkroma say ne nsada ne nsai mo say President John Dramani Mahama wo de abandada no project ni nyina no se wontimi wanya ba kumpo mu a agenda 111 hospital project no wo momodin pesika na won to aso na wontimi enwie ye bisa say budget 2025 anka ye de ye nyane ntia kra mpo de dada say John Mahama say ye to abama no be mampani wo mamu ha one new project bia it's on record proud to the 2024 elections no what can I see any project aban no ano oteso no e sha ase a wanwie no ene wo baba ye mampani a wo be allocate sika ye de ebewie sa project ahodo ni nyina na dano adana eyem nwanwa finance minister ko mra shebedwafie won ko kam ye ntia o se sa project ni nyina no I think about some 52 or 53 project abana ebe sha ase a wantimi anwie no say ye se ye ya ebe take you man some 13 months 13 years ansa na yetimi awie bete ye na me yem him na me ka se mo ya ma enidaso ni gidi a Ghana for amanyofuo mu no atia tofom in opposition yate de okan in power nso yate de okan ofa yawo budget ni mu nyina no there wasn't allocation for a year uncompleted project wa mo wa say ya kwan say ya hospitals say ya school dying say ya infrastructure project wa mosika bia anto se sa sika we na yede ekwa kotoa sa eye project no eso na yetimi awie wadaroma on that one yentio ewo ho
tibio na yema ahwefo ne atiefo akwaba osi mira ahwefo na amda so mimfiri mu eje se yenya Ghana mpanyimfo a eba na atoro frakadam ye na adanipa NDC omo entoma omo de eden ifra oizo mo kan se nyame yade no oba obepeska bi ato no ma sa ongoing project ya abandada ne sha ase nyina oba eden obewie oni mi se ebra mo sha ase a mi hu se omo fom sanka ye bra yewra finance minister ka say 13 years na am ka say nkrofu ni adwene when you talking about vision and his own vision party why
to me radio
your project when you know ebra ye win your second term the year 2020 election emuana na nado danko akufuado ene yewra Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia extras a proposal Dr. Bawumia kan ye ema na nado gitum na offer papa Dr. Insia Sare say eba na apomuden dia wona woda no ntire yewra yi kan no kore na also SID ebi ebe kan say the reason why ntia etwa say ene ma sa project na agenda 11 na eden eba en kan manifesto promise ho but ye ba ye hu say ebe because na COVID-19 I suppose a big time and the idea dey ebe ya ye betuma yi sa how nyina afiri wonom na ya say regional hospital wo so enyina ne na so no yetima manage ne say no be secondary ene secondary eba be ye teaching hospital men na ebe referral kese a Cape Coast for ebeba western north for nyina but that test we say na abandadan eba na pomudina osina na dwene eden ewo so na ibisanse nka ye toa so the year 2025 and ke be wen this year ama amanfo eden enyemu ata because ore project na ekwo so na brani abrani na ya papa Dr. Insiansa rekọ aporoba na omayen ye kan say update baby ebia eden akwakodo even this man on the 3rd of March okọ ye papa dankwaku botwe ne won ka se bi be adwuma
yes
okay constituency agena won betima adwuma Yarani na nado eko Kumasi no commission ye e wo sabro no mu near Oye, Ewa Swami, Noye, Ewa Trede, any affery, any Miami Outwing na extra was say, Papa in the near Bresse, Hospital Bishop Canada, and this for one more for Minano. Why the baby? Abandada, what do you find the rear? Now the Osha see a baby, 3 years, 4 years old baby. Well, that was only 30 years, and you have another cat sword. I have for Frana. That tells you some government to get free or more. Promise on. Yeah. Now, young idea. You would have done mamma or so for the move. So, oh boy, the parent pound by including a hospital, I would want to say. Now, you bet me a project now. You bet you $1.7 you can't say billion dollars, yeah. Right? Yeah. And then 3 days, you answer, health minister, Papa, Minta. I can't say. You been here $1.9 billion. And I check in Crawford. Now, I didn't know. I want to have a part doctor in South Africa. I say, boo, Muku, Chromian Monia, Kenya, and $1.4 billion between our day. And was he? Say, you see a barber, your proper audit. Now, you rest Uncle of Winston, one can get any Beginedi. You're ready yet? You don't say to me, say, a 20 year Juma. And can head minister and different figure. And the president is also quoting different. That tells you, say, in terms of data, in terms of cordial relation, I say, yeah, say, yes, and you also now, that's all core cabinet. Or can I say, no, catch you concerning Star Hospital. I want to know, you're ready, one of the day. So, a bad idea will be able to say, and I did hospital, almost a bad day, ever count. And in your band, say, young fat and some and follow for home. Young Kebby, young John, but you only say. Na omunya en shasia en kangana akohoma sika ne nkyere yen enti o sinse ma ne yede sibia ne ye fa ne say e bosirimka enya de be adwuma. Now I'm making it plain esisu dua say agenda 1 wanya de ayewura dwoma ha ma won se beka ne won se beka kira oma amiate say akwan dada na ye nyina no enya de ayewura dwoma ha ma obe hu adwuma suku awodo ayetimi agina simpie so ma ye papa Dr. Adutwum Ejina so echere say 80 schools basic and then university and then free researchers and STEM awodo aka abomu no wosi engrofu e ma we dodge na sam krampo de o man kan ho hwe TVET o ma amo ho wa enti obi bisa say na nya engrofu na mo se mo ba bebo ama apomudire tumeje nyana so mo bebo ama ye school sam yetimi akwa animu mo bebo ama ya kwa asem insuo tumeje atafe e ba ne sen na ade ensa ye na Osika enkwantanan adana dan ye enti Ghana ni bia no ayedin na Osika mo ka asem bi se tama nkwasiafo bebrebe ye din no on be kire omutumi e bra ye kwa akoto aba di Ghana fo sabe mpredua sa omunyimi ano mo nsae ana omunimi ne ye ano mo ebeye na coming the year 2028 no Ghana fo be show ye wura ma ama en na memu be o de omunkonwa be den ebeko denti na waba be di abenwa so na wa sha ase di entro wodi enada ana wodi be hye Ghana fo ase sisi ana Osika edi na wura ma ama kan ya wotumi aye ebra no obo ntoa na oba ye edin ebie no wotumi aye o na ebie no betumi aye ana me de eye me ya ne se ya na ye mpanyimfo so di aboro Osika sa abrani abra data ono mutumi ma abontini nkyire mu nkyire Ghana for ma Ghana say ebo ye ministry ye agency ye ni institution wodo sika ye di eko na dwumedi a edi eni aba ebe so anie ani ye jane sa ma entrofo okurum yanom ana mo sha ase se omu etwa ntro egu ani mu ase keka sa ensem ne sa ana akwa akuru be bi nka budget yi bebe a o mo se eye ndaso budget no na ke ye wese nka emu nsem nyina be demonstrate ebe kire se budget ni indeed and that's so be eden e wo bad wosi sana budget ni and that's so baako kran eden enim na yebo ye nka dim se nka ebo nurse fo agufie yi anke wi hospital na ye hwe adwuma ankombe nya eden aye e bra na na dankwa agufo ejina simpie so e commission for me na any other project o ka say ye wi a close to 60,000 nurses ana ebetime anya adwuma eden ayo enti ebo OMAN MPUNTUO na na dan kwagufa na odwene Ghana fo na yewra dwon ama enam baabi esere se enya nokore enya de be yie en afei de akwa den akwa akodru enti no yeda minority fo ase almighty minority eye papa gidi ombo ako ebra budget be da osi wa sha ase atutum ntokuro wa expose abane big time because we say ebra na budget ebe koso na Ghana Statistical Service ebe to wo se ya brese yetimi eye ema yetimi ekogina 1.2 trillion na akwa do 5.7 you can say percent no na afen abani option say oba betwa entro bia go ja ye 3.6 and obi apagya amana go do 5.7 what say wa manage ni ye na ade wa manage e ba say no timi ko domestic bond nimu na timi raise sky di twetwa ankrofo kan di bi so eya Accra je say me okromia that is o kana say bia na obi say na say amfa bibia enya and then don't forget afen wa start your budget yeah tete woni ba be adwuma enti budget woni na ya abanda da ne budget but emu na wayi bia wo de ya Accra je say ebi na wanya wo de han you can say private jet e de ko Burkina no yakọ ba no ebia na so di tua can say individual bond holders for okay and he says sa we won ma dey na make say ebo say de ne ka fa banda no nya na enye no kro but o ma bo modene but dem we be de ye sonko sene do mo ye no ba rather o be no condemn say economy na nkasa aye basa ndi basa na otumi gina Ghana adwumafo ya so betumi etua 10% na
okay
that is a entro no mutwa Ghana for be sere wo mo say hospital bia na wo mantam to say ne ye wo bokuro yi na o hwe ani mu a ndi sinya de obeto aso ni ada no kwasiara me amebo aporo ekọ empo ekọ de na adu na ndi sinya de obeto aso de me angasa ewo mi krom ene me amia wo do obi ara se nke be wie na nka wono serve as a community no mu hospital nyina no aban se woni sika because o sika anka na kwa mo abono ebe kire se this is the direction aye den ye ko towards sa project na abandana na e sha ase no but wa mo ho wa we ni ato nchen is any project nya de odin sa be den ebe ka but don't forget so Ghana sika na ye se no we taxpayers money and the course our project and ke be wi na ye mfa so de man nka nurse fo nya adwuma e no market Ghana for mo amudi mo ani ehu amamuo na sa bere ya sha ase entura ye atwam ni akakaben se me ne de ye de NIB for na etete amanfo okromian na ye me dem po se o se entura ba ko mutwa no parliament enra afa finance minister na abeji atum se na national personnel for no na 140,000 enye 85,000 na yes obi kwa ye no na wu ko sam entro ne na dan crofo edim ye gu Ghana for na wa confirm say na around 40,000 personnel for na national service but enye 85 that tells you say engwe no mutena kromi anya dia ebe yi
but enane na nsa metedin ahwe se anka finance minister no ane ye bepe sika bi na ane ye de abo national security ho bra ewo memu hase ene mitie no adonhwiri mienu ena afei echire enkoma ode komra se bedwafie nyina no ya nti bibia amfa security ho ya nti sika bia ye twade ato se ene afia ye wo mu yi sika we na ye de ekowura eye oman Ghana bambo ensem emu ofa ya eye onwanwa because anka Jo Mahama ene ne nkrofo ne ye nipa bia anka ade ba ko a ebeye wo mo topmost priority the security of this country because ya to abawie ye ne akoso wo memu ha pa bepim ne ya ye kasai chese president no amu emmo ho wampo ye no na anka misu se anka ne nsem ni nyina no ene ode be soma eye finance minister na wachira Ghana for say eba ne security national security for that matter wo hawa e na mu mprempren enie frisi eto abawie ye besi mprempren o manu mu nyoye etinu weni ene anamo aye tudi afa ho ena afensu weni sikabotene aye twade ato a ye de ba be yesa adwuma ni nyina wo fa yawo one to be amfa security ho no aye onwanwa anya nwanwa anya onwanwa da bi adentia
sentia anya nwanwa ne say ye ka kire Ghana for say ye to abama NDC a kroma ye mfa mra nya adwuma so mo se ye pekasa na ye mpese Ghana ibenye asomdwe enti na ye kasa ase because ye ni security de ya de e bo ase ye ba ya sha ase na ye boro mo ena ye tumi ekọ stage kan say memma OsikaniFrimpongManso ntana wanya adwuma yes I begu station say ena ekọ so kroma
yes
ye nhwa de on the 7th of December ye to aba no ade be chi a yewura Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ba aw say ogitum say ankoyie na ofa yewura John na wabona baso ana amanfo e sha ase omukọ Northern Region Municipal no mo say omaban ba no mo sha ase say enuane o nyina no ye fa na de apie ombowura accommodant agric office e manipa ba akumpo ehwere ne nkwa omaban ba ye fa fertilizer enti ya bo awura ho ye kumunipa omaka egu hospital aban ne emo ho ba omuwie no msa ba empo ho ye nua be ma sa mensa na office anom kɔto ɛpunu sɛ yɛ ma amanfo ɛnyɛ adwuma ne visa awie omi yɛ nom kɔ GRA yɛ papa Sapon Anthony Sapon yɛ ne kwam sɛ nya de on bɛgina tum enti omi yɛ demonstration hɔ no ma mandi 3 days sɛ hwan na kaa so omo yɛ den omo nkɔ ne visa and omi yɛ nom kɔ Western North one of the forests say here was one ba town hall baby etisim ye nyina nya video no say omo se yewura dwoma ama ne bodyguard nkrofo ehwe video ni bi what be say omo na omo te call angugura asante obo ase ebowura na me ma che say ha de o be ma yemfa ngura anom ana kodu baby ya de kodu eno kwa no o we communicate government ni issue ya ono obi a was set up committee say ye hwem no ba no was akọ nguru by saying say angugura asante for emfa enwo ka no but we have to condemn what going on there and what went there because idea enya emra kwan so obi a wafa ekwampa so okura ne licenses na wotua ho akade ede ma aban na amanfo ekwa no won wantimi mpo ene na nkata kan say ne oye ene nyaade papa no wonsie ngrofo a enti obi ahu say osika enya ade a babetuma eden afiri maba enya wonko me no ka say amanfo kwotema omo ye aban dwuma ekwa omo bangla wo de notice ko bo say ye mom 10 days amanfo mfiri sa ade no wo si aban ebo ho ba ka ho asembia so that tells you say eba ni security a onye na adwe so obebi bi de adan afan ba do ma ne nkrofo de mana hye omo nsem na omo don pe fine wo so be no uyi ministry ni bia adan afiri ho ai ba national security but say wodwene ho a wo si one of the security and answer one of the ministry eno wo si edi adan edi agoro because West Africa you wanna say Sub-Sahara away ye we enkura atwa nwa hye nyina wo si yetete ne ekoso say ya ma ye secret ne emu anya pampia bi betuma gbaru afiase mpo a yantumi enya ba bi e be de be gina ndi naka bebe se de anka wo your budget no one more attention den akọ because ebra ye to aba we ya say we committee no one of the areas that we secret for no any that area on my day area na te one ya say bevro one na atemu ero to one ma wo de ye papa de Kofi Buache ene ye papa owo to bi kwa ache mo so oni enim say once a sa security expert ne de obemu ani akoda ministry na at least what my ni but osi your budget mu a we dodge ana afere wo so de akwa akọhye interior ministry ni mu sa afere omo no mo hwe na ye security zim nyina omo nya hu adwuma because this ya na adwen say ye bambo any akwani abedene enya ade a ede na koma so ndi osi we beda wa anya nwa because say odwene security one and get about o mani nua na ke betwi ni car voter region so odwene ha security mu ensemesity ye ene kwan fa so twase ye bo no ansa no ban ye bo Ghana for ban ye bo your ministers no ban obi bia ha ban anka won fa ministry no enye nti no wantwa bibia ha ko no no oni senti no nyina kogu flat house say or the back communication no manya bibia eden edi so Ghana for nwa mamu because ye in Fourth Republic aman panyifu abane ha omusi fire Ghana security a oman panyin na do ne Dr. Baumia Abreso a wo sutimi ko udumadi a na obi a en ha wadwe no yemi se ene na yehu na enka bane se enka mobile money venture ana se vendor ewia kete na ye bonu tuo okrom ya agene sika me no ka se emra enya adwuma ene amanfo edom nsa ana so omo pe ehye omo nsam no because omo ban na ede abenti wo si we nya won dire de e kan se Ghana for a monitor yera don mahama amemu no na berebedu no bisa ne kosama akoma akomienu a ontumi nyaba dat na aka ekire e dem bisa ye bom pe ma no so onkoso a na wonyere na Ghana for we ekire no e de omani ehu se wa amaso obebo na ho na ebehu abebi obi ase abebi obi anye papa
very well me ba che ohwe obrano a some 53 minutes gone past 5 would to me radio 101.3 OMAN MPUNTUO live Western Diamond Television on Facebook, Western Diamond Television, YouTube, Western Diamond Television, on TikTok, Western Diamond Television. For WhatsApp and a text message, FA 0248 071174 SO Ebra 0248 071174 SO Ebra na yenye branking ka won sem ni nyina enso emfa emmao same bomade na fa me ko ye yera Gideon Boako also ensemo a wokan edefa eye ato forcing ne budget 2025 no eho Gideon Boako video no ewo ho a na e ready na de atum enso atimi e de amame yakoba na fei enkoma aka enso yatimi aba bedi President John Mahama ene ato forcing say afi 2025 yi mu de enya ade aye fa obi abandwuma mu na mza wa me anyam nwanwa wa mu ba ye kura wa hyase pam wo mo enti no obi ani ndaso mpo se and yeah, oh, Baba for be a jumemu. But I video no ewa, you're Gideon Boacondi and ewa na, what me the atoso and so at the amame. Now, what would me? We are about an out me, and now Pono, where we are upon a wood me. Now, oh, her quine said, a bang ebet me a far where jumemua, and yeah, the Eban say, a fee pad, dear, is this candy hot? Si candy why the before a jumemu, and nay, I can say, Pelbe Bichna, Fansa show them reformua, na bompire, a fee to me query ya, na fee, and Koma Kenyana no sono, wet to me and a year or bushia for as well TV abo, etino anonom. But President John Mahama, through the finance minister, Edibe Bomu a year Adanwa da. Or present budget statement and economic policy, no, offer page 84 of the budget statement, and a year compensation of employees, and item 478. But TBM or say in 2025, government will implement the following measures to keep the wage bill within sustainable levels. 1. Fully implement the net freeze on unemployment by immediately putting on hold all recruitments into the public service, given that recent realignment and collapse of some MDAs has brought about surplus labor. In this regard, there will be no extension of contracts for all public officers except in education, that is the university level, which will be cut and done within budgetary constraints. Heads of services and public institutions are to undertake internal restructuring to place staff in understaffed areas and training to reskill or upskill others. Unquote. And I know, President John Mahama say, I feel 2025. Yeah, dear. Wafa ubia ewo abanjumemu. Edi entia. Ye timia bomode na ye. My Ghana ye nsika semono. Ye timia kura ni ye. Ama ye nsika na etimi asu ye ndi. Ofa aboate.
Oscar,
over to you.
Krobe na yetimu
Ghana
embanfo be na omo na enwene emebunu yie de hu NDC ene ed ne se emebunu benya adwuma ye. You see, was bibi nsi kwa na ye mu bi de awrade ase se akwa ne se ebe na dan kwa kufu ne ra Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ebe so afrem the year 2017 first step anase enyema ebe ye ma emebunu ho be han omo ne se ye ma napku na ya absorb emebunu a omawie suapon 100,000 and then over abebe free abenwa so no na o close to be 60,000 there na omanya gainful employment ewo other sectors omaka and omo de ba ya chief of staff say omo de aba after December 7th enti yenyi omadi edijafo a omo so e de ba ye ana abansi yenyi omadi Ghana Health Service for omo de ba ya doctor for nurse for yes yenyi omadi but na obi enam airborne to say ye free bibi 24-hour economy ede ya adwuma ya aboatene ye die oska ye nipa miensa na be ye ntinka ni okwa no pa no nsia no anka 2 o'clock no pon ye opon ye na nka ba kwa be so apon na 10 o'clock and anadwo 10 so ede si awmachi no nsia then na ye run 247 because nipa miensa na ye adwuma no afedi ye konkonsa ne atoro nti oska ba bia be no say afedi ye termination sack ana ye revoke amount for appointment letter na if you say bia ye kind watra but all the above basis so e budget na o obi anwo ho na ompo ye de na ne nkrofo France house no odwene wo mo no enyem bia na o si ya dwene government communication machinery
101.3
don no we go o medical scanner na ye wura ko bi opon ko mekan me kan bia ba be wie senti adwon ma tiri mo de no say o ma Ghana fo nya adwuma ye no government communication machinery na eye papa Felix Ofozuko ache eda no say ye wura ko bi opon ko na information ministry ana si ye twam na ye de one dia na ye den aba since akwa osika enipa mako 20 and ye adwuma you say your 4 communication directors your 5 deputy communication directors your 2 communication specialists your 5 technical communication assistants your 1 media aide your can say another assistant media liaison officer yes also a communication consultant and sign your presidential advisor on media
to me radio
and osi and go for me mako 20 and internet na do abere so osi sky the call presidency government national no na 326 million you can say Ghana cedi but we mun kwa no 2.7 billion under the communication outfit keke and also enya adwom ponia says can get fa Ghana mabun mom ya adwuma anka enye yi a was no wade ba ko eye konkonsa ne atoro Ghana mabun hwe no muntie ne yi tana wo se wo daada Dr. Bawunyane ne nkrofo a egina ye nyina so woni begu ase enne wo an woni begu ase ana wo leta wo de kwan fa me afawo mo anka se mu kra ma point ma mu ye nyina manfo asha ase mpo e reject mo daada and the ministries be appoint PR mpo yes because manfo anko manfo abon and one also kwa nya adwuma ya but ye sky ye de air France house ekana na me ne ya maame Jonathan Abila say osi last year me ne ko ECOWAS you can say program bi maame de me maame pa and wo sha say na TikTok no social media no wa jambua na obo na na do abas nana brana beje oboy na ne say France house wonum ye ode mismanagement di amanfo ska empo ska request ye no na enuru ba bia but obi de wose ne yem fama no eden wonkodi na wo se ye rade wo mu ye cry de ne sa bra ye sa no manyina no na public enterprise ne budget now for within size ka de call no no
yeah
wose government ye can scholarship secretariat ye papa kinsa ajaman na oda no na ministry nyina anasa that office no so ewo First House
yeah
ansa nua be Malik Maslok na office nyina so ansa na National Identification Authority Zongo Development Fund ansa na infrastructure for poverty eradication program development authorities ne nyina ewo ye kan say First House one ma sa budget ya ye kan no ebi ne de bo ehu ebra ansa na home rental scheme ansa na council state no e kabo nyina was it but we buy ye no ye yi sa nyuma ye kan nyina everybody asan so double the budget allocation dey elko presidency one say ofusu kwa ache ne nkrofo emfa enwasa
right
enti ekoba asa no na what is enti aban no odwene ye ho sector baako hwe eduma wafa aguo ni ska ombenya adie benya ne ntie se wo si baako bia ankofie bia no wode close to 120 million ana ekofie bosome under this budget now what you make actually say pe ne budget oberidi no paragraph 84.111 o make sure say ye mfa Ghana bia enye replacement wo adwumam Ghana fo ejejeje o na yete ade a eye ho hwe oman panyin ekoye wedodo a omunya employment a ankom ebe kwa anim yin sen ka afinka ya region na budget because na abani projection na ne say afinka emebunu enye adwuma anya kra no na nkanya 2 million because 2 million no we si na ukọ petrol haba close to be 700,000 ana ye benya eden oho we ye solar energy ana ye Dr. Bawumia ekai ye adwuma ne be fa wo mo a o benya adwuma ene Ghana fo ya na ba be ye job na ye ko ansa no say be training 1 million young you can say boys as young men for into IT so credit one ye ko 2 million and ye reach progress and as your progress or Ghana abaya ko to ye and ye hu say ye wura bia no woni ye pa bia eden na for the first time on one into abo 24-hour economy no what's what in come budget ni mu a and one thing security for enka ana obabi no wa women's world bank what in one sama
we try 51 million Ghana cedis say a seed capital ye fanche sa bank no
ase rather ara nyanti kromi ana said na tamakuru kantaman fozi ka hye oba besia fankwa enka ne it was can 700 billion old currency oba besia de wasa ni sema
se gu Ghana manfo
ebi asa be ye orientation wanye esa akoto mo ba fon say free tv to kromi ana osi
me hia wo ba wo ye
from say na tamakuru
dokro no wa
bomani ya kono ye na ye fi say member na wadwen kese a yetimi ka say aye orientation e dey am ye start abena nye no pa yetimi je ho budget edie san gronji we risk ka twa no e dey be ma na e ma na ngasa na wosi o ma sha asia for mo adwen e bra ye introduce PTA na sisi ya no BC nso ye ka say registration eba na ye kan say
mock exams
but ni nyina nso eba no ni nyina no ene manager say ene ye fa ye wadwen ka pati en kasa nti no o ma say sa women's wear bank na nkasa no ya ka asem bi keka na nkanu mpo say ade anka ne first priority mpo ngro go mesika kese mpo akọ no na wa kire emia wo do mpo ibenya sika ndi aye adwuma but anyway twa you tend ya maame that is all any more state of the nation na wo ye basa because OMAN mpanyina anwene ne ma na ono a ebo nto an yempo de na nka ye hwese osi mo na mo say ade amaye bi ensida say mo ba be ye budget na mo kwa afiefiem emro no so mantem adwom ene ma di nkomo na mo je ma na adwene ene om input ene kom input an ga wese nka this time nka budget ba address issue emabuna na mo say atofo say ye ne yetiri mo odini nika bet tax no enko 40% so that abaya dia maburu entumi entwa no ene de wo so yiye fora won encourage maburu sa afa de yenko twa ne kese won wano ba ko mienu e wa ha e wa asmeka nti ye be sere Ghana for say ye ne an ye kwoto ye enka achi Yemon pena yen sere kwana the new patriotic party nya ahwodene ntenase ye beba out near the policy a ema Ghana for nwa ha omo na Ghana for aso madwoma enkoye na ada policy ze ohwe dokono ho a wo se dokono ye nte so we asenti ade ho a e soro kwa na ebekọ for the first time magazine for ocho monka we dodge you but enka na ke ba be ready budget a na ka magazine for tell maso se ye ba be bibi afiri so ebre ba ya wo si yes, bibi the nuisance taxes. You cross to 18 taxes. Which I was saying, we mako and 9. One family and some measure name. Now, almighty COVID-19 meeting. One tenning on ye de radiasi. Some born to a counter, actually a Ghana for say, dear bar, when you ben afe, they yet me. 80 me a tax out of Marco 70 for the Ghana. So, ye must say, yes, I did free to be shy name. Your first time you read your budget, no. Your first policy, a person Ghana for your fast one, any can you pay into your dish. Name will say, see you near you come pass no. You implement your idea, Ghana be about 20 free SHs, the buyer. Okay, I buy into no, anyone was already budget, no. Now employment never got employment Nakatano. Only can't a brown after on the 10th, no issue communicate. And he will say, I pay one graph and say, your pound graph on pie and for your body monitor. So be out of force and neighbor of us and ya what we going to call LA. Timinchi was say, "Yamu freeze in India." There's a limited opportunity. Amount for into public. You can't say service mum, but then yes, ya watching and go school to work and say whether limited or not. Yes, I can't remember because they are qualified. All right.
Yeah, that's a member of the NPP Regional Communications Team, former Communications Director Takoradi constituency. Ena Otene. Kanohyo Brenwa. Some 8 minutes gone past 5. Yabada ho aje aboafo enkra to abaye koba na fe yabe kinkan messages kakra womu na fe ye ne eye ajenimboate atimi ato aso yesrew enkoba bia yeda ho abasisia
The reception area. Engineer, reception area, right? Until Obi are no back. I have no better answer. The whole place is the pharmacy. Yes. Okay, but this is a waiting area for the pharmacy, right?
Yeah, this is waiting area for maybe 130 minutes.
Oh, so this is one of the laboratory rooms. Okay. How many laboratory rooms do you have here? Where the incubator now? Units, phototherapy equipment. Infant incubator. TBTQ blood samples are Hana Betina. No collab Hono Mansa. And to answer your accident and emergency with all the beds, equipment, and what have you making our hand. Tread the agenda 111. No, so clearly we don't some machines, you know. So it's a hospital. I know say any serious government. We say we use a hospital where now manual operation like within a week you can bring in human beings to come and work. I answer your the theater ward and said now for you come so the you could see say almost everything was done. No? I mean, similar thing is also found here. That's another theater, the ambulance. So, we're about to do this side. Trade hospital no mortuary no panyi bi nya nkasa say yenya nwie mortuary nti no into me operationalize the hospital mortuary ho ne abe e no kra ha mortuary no say na tie yenwie. But I am still insisting that the mortuary mpo ni ha we can start this hospital. Bungalows are yesidiama doctors and nurses any other health officials are all these bungalows are completed. Me shall see in hospitals say Kumasi Bebenuano, any mortuaries. In fact, in Otafo there's no mortuary in Otafo. Oko South Interest there's no mortuary there. Oko Swami there's no mortuary there. But it has been giving health delivery to the people of these places without any difficulties at all. So I don't know when a mortuary, a bad idea here and Sana hospital to me operationalize it. Yes, if you have a mortuary, it is good. It is even an add-on. But it doesn't mean say because of that we cannot give health delivery to our people.
Fellow Ghanaians, ne wiye yaba eye trade was antimemu trade ha agenda 111 His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo a commission on the 5th of December 2024 chair and the health minister ebigina mortuary nanim and in central for kasaye ekase because ye mortuary intino this hospital cannot be operationalized. Madaroma, there has never been a time in the history of this world a mortuary has been a condition precedent for the operationalization of a hospital.
I see. That's another consulting room. That's another consulting room. Okay. So when you check for you, they did not have beds. I mean, they were not having beds in the consulting room. Another consulting room. Oh, that's thermometer, right? It's a waiting area for people who want to come and see a doctor. Hey, let me show you something nice to help you. The reception area. Reception area, right? Until Obi Yari no ba. The whole place is the pharmacy. Okay, but this is a waiting area for the pharmacy, right?
Yeah, this is waiting area for maybe 150 minutes.
Oh, so this is one of the laboratory rooms. Okay. How many laboratory rooms do you have here? Where the incubator now? Units for the therapy equipment. Infant incubator. TBTQ blood samples. Hana betina. No collab hono mansa. Into your house, accident and emergency with all the beds, equipment, and what have you making our hand. Said the agenda 111. So clearly, we don't some machines. It's a hospital. I know. Say any serious government. We say we use a hospital. We are now money operation. Like within a week, you can bring in human beings to come and work. I have said the theater ward and said now for you come so the you could see say almost everything was done. I mean, similar thing is also found here. That's another theater. Yeah, the ambulance. So it's, oh, we do this side. Trade hospital no mortuary no panyi bi nya nkasa say yenya nwie mortuary nti no into me operationalize the hospital mortuary ho ne abe e no kra ha mortuary no say na tie yenwie. But I am still insisting that the mortuary mpo ni ha we can start this hospital. Bungalows are yesidiama doctors and nurses any other health officials are all these bungalows are completed. Me shall see in here. Hospitals say Kumasi Bebenuano, any mortuaries. In fact, in Otafo there's no mortuary in Otafo. Oko South Interest there's no mortuary there. Oko Swami there's no mortuary there. But it has been giving health delivery to the people of these places without any difficulties at all. So I don't know when a mortuary, a bad idea here and Sana hospital to me operationalize it. Yes, if you have a mortuary, it is good. It is even an add-on. But it doesn't mean say because of that we cannot give health delivery to our people.
Fellow Ghanaians, ne wiye yaba eye trade was antimemu trade ha agenda 111 His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo a commission on the 5th of December 2024 chair and the health minister ebigina mortuary nanim and in central for kasaye ekase because ye mortuary intino this hospital cannot be operationalized. Madaroma, there has never been a time in the history of this world a mortuary has been a condition precedent for the operationalization of a hospital.
I see. That's another consulting room. That's another consulting room. Okay. So when you check for you, they did not have beds. I mean, they were not having beds in the consulting room. Another consulting room. Oh, that's thermometer, right? It's a waiting area for people who want to come and see a doctor. Hey, let me show something like that. The reception area. Reception area, right? Until Obi are no back. I have no better answer. The whole place is the pharmacy.
Yes.
Okay, but this is a waiting area for the pharmacy, right?
Yeah, this is waiting area for maybe 130 minutes.
Oh, so this is one of the laboratory rooms. Okay. How many laboratory rooms do you have here? Where the incubator now? Units, phototherapy equipment, infant incubator. TBTQ blood samples. Hana betina. No collab hono mansa.
10 minutes gone past 5. I want to be radio 101.3. OMAN MPUNTUO Jumedi Esu Enye. Live on Western Diamond Television. Yeah, live on all our social media platforms. Uko Facebook Western Diamond Television, YouTube. Yeah, live Western Diamond Television and I think on TikTok also. Ubetimi ahwe dwumadie no enso ewo ho ma yenye some few messages abana fe yento ankomo ne so. Teacher constitution anyway fi wiamo ase say as the youth jubilated over the removal of the betting tax in the 2025 budget, let there be a reminder that employment has been frozen. Removing the betting tax while freezing employment is a direct motivation for the youth to engage in betting. Greetings, Honorable Mavis in Cancer Bwedu and Chairman Koka. One way or the buy and no. Derek Ayete say I'm watching you live from Nkurankai. Good evening. Kwabna Rangers Oscar, good afternoon. Where is our Vice President? Kwabna bisa mi nu nyina na Takoradi how. Abankesi mu ho ni hobi. Ntino maybe o said ye ni o ayira no no ni maybe o te. This is your call number, Naja. Your friend Bizanzu, Patrol, a hinfa pana, ote. Isaac Amponsa, Edifres Yama in a Lembele, or say, Mahama and his NDC must be ready to receive numerous demonstrations. One idea what they buy, and so, I don't know, more beyond demonstrate. Ghana for the say a penny yen to be any D. Yentinamwa and fear 9. What can I be mufia? Nobody lecturer say oh to aba pa and one no ye demonstration bia na penny and saka ntino wo bia nkena nuntum na ye nyina ye ntinemu we do the abari you say okay, I've read this one already. We say Oscar, good evening. Western Diamond Television, you guys are too much. One edio de buy one for diama. We say my name is David Mensa. Ghana will be good by the grace of God, according to the 2025 budget. The most sweetest thing is the removal of the betting taxes and other stuffs. Also the free cash and what they buy. You dajina do budget in Mosuko. Brand here, ubehunu ni ewumu. Where's your Oscar? Greetings to you. Please, I am Efe from Second D. You say Oscar, is President Mahama and the NDC still on a campaign platform? Well, me dem meeting through on communications. No, come I send you mujina a campaign a paswa. One more a campaign den. When should you the about say as I always say, Mahama and his NDC must be monitored very, very well. Isaac Amponsa, Eddie or the buy and where she was good evening. My name is Adams from Nkotompo in Second D constituency. Please let me greet my former MP lawyer Andrew Kofi Japamesa and incoming national chairman Bernard Enchibo Siako. Please let's all support him. And Oscar, the youth of this country will know the true colors of the NDC and the full meaning of National Deceivers Congress. My wife says she feel you, papa. Adams also yesterday. What feel me? I am a new fufu, mammy. Manu fufu. Now we made it be why. You know, one answer the other by and no. Thank you so much. Well, so good evening. My name is Abuaje from Second D. Please, I'm on my knees begging you, inform the NPP executive to resource the communicators, because nowadays it is all about quick response information and first-hand information that will help NPP win 2028. Without that, it will be difficult, because President Mahama has resourced its communication ministry and other media houses that is helping them to propagate their lies. One idea or the Ebaye, I don't know. Where's your Oscar? Good evening. I am Mohammed from Ninahin. Also, my brother, whatever they call you, also President Mahama is far better than the NPP. With the youth, wow, bro, for crying, oh, free SHSDB. What's now support to a party at one one year a free SHS into mu. Bro, for Yanso come abrabo. We the youth suffers a lot, but now we are free because we now free from any levy. Thank you. I see a man mabunu nyom hunti asie prekope. Sa betting tax noa. Papa is wa be ye free hono. Clearly, say betting tax no. Ya kade ade agina fini nyina bomwa. Kuma bi near eye kese no aso yi free hono COVID-19 we no a. Wabo me free tedu ko so nyino. So what you say? The obeto bia. You see, etino emabunu no mo mama ni na mo mie mani. Why betting tax na free hono? Public sector employment was one for bia adwuma mu. Etino e babunu na wo bo se wo budget so se wa be betting tax e dey free ho a. Wo no oda atinte sen. Chacha na abetwa kosi umpani fie so ana. Na abo akwakora na wo so concrete a. Wa be ka se wo bi ena eye wo na wa na wo ye wo ho etino wan fa di ama wan fa di ama ba me tufo wan fa di ama we say Oscar, good evening to you. I am June Nana Kwame Ampoma from Takwa. I know Nanado did very well. It's done a lot, even the Agenda 111 at Trede. I have visited there before, but we did not appreciate it. Fast forward, Nanado's entire budget for 2024 was 3 billion. But in 2025, Mahama's budget at the presidency is taking the Ghanaian taxpayer 11 billion Ghana cedis. Oh, dang. One idea what they buy in here. Where say Oscar, good evening. Or say, so in essence, the reduction of the ministries is only eye service. The idea of a lane government was about reducing expenditure. So what is all this? You spending more. NDC is playing with our minds. We know NDC always in government resorts to lies and deceit to rule Ghana. Why one government use 3 to 6 million Ghana cedis for government, and NDC and Mahama will use 2.6 billion Ghana cedis. This is the highest daylight robbery by the NDC government. Engineer Thompson dia or the ebaye and so I don't know. Abacha say Oscar, good evening. Ghanaians voted against development and allow President Mahama, who does not have policy outline, to lead us. Very soon, Ghanaians will see the true colors of this government. Abacha dia or the ebaye and so I don't know. Abacha na say mbere wa mi hu. Me mbere wa mi hu. Wonim say o mame adie bi me enye ha na me beka wa wunim etino me pacho ye wasede mame no nya kasa kasa bia mame no nya kasa kasa bia. Where's your Oscar, good evening. The Gonja mafia has nothing to offer, so let us suffer for 4 years. The LS had all my name in the LS had all. My name is John from Laura or anyway that's papa. We say the minority has presented the true budget statement for the year 2025. We are waiting for the majority to challenge it. The budget statement of the majority lacks credibility. We are now seeing the real NDC and their falsehood. Mike, Takoradi, and Edway Ebaye. Where's your Oscar? Good evening. I hope you are doing well. Fast forward 2024, Nanados. Okay, I've read this one already. Thank you. We say, Oscar, good evening. President John Mahama thinks he is very smart. So reducing government size is to take huge amounts of money to the presidency. Now that Ato is going to freeze employment, how will a 24-hour economy work? Sister Debbie, and do a buy. Nana, anyway, for new Takoradi, or say, Oscar, good evening. It's on record that President John Mahama promised Ghanaians that he will complete all the Agenda 111 hospitals to create employment to the ordinary Ghanaian. Today, John Mahama has abandoned the good work of Nanado and his able Vice President Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia regards to incoming National Chairman Bernard Entry Boesiako. One radio de buy and no Saint Okushembo Diewe Mamenya and last one afi Yantuan Common. So the Frikojo Chrome in a Skado Ketan constituency. Oscar, good evening. The youth of our country voted massively for the NDC because of the 24-hour economy to give them jobs, but now it has become lies, deceit, and unnecessary excuses. Or say, Amamuo Bako Inkohisem Bebre, never again NDC. Best regards to Honorable Lawyer Isaac Yabu Amanyako and Collins Sa. One idea what the ebaye and so and no eda se papa. Now what is President John Mahama echa sikabotin over 200 million Ghana cedis set or the koto sanitary pad. Edi ama enkwada womo ewo eye GHS rafi SHS. What? Mete wansem. Na eno de obi a obeji sa na di bia no oni senti ene ne botaye. Oscar winim say yama enada na doso esene say ye beka no kware eri a kire oman Ghana fo. Yemi si an say o ya ade bia udi ka busa say de na your first priority before answer na wakwa de ade eden it does you can say Oscar ye de hia answer na de fata anopemi be na wa papa e de tibu da ko Pentecost eda was so kwa akasa asem kire Ghana fo ye di kai de hia answer na ye fata what baba betro enyoma bebre a Ghana fo expect afei watwa U10 na o senior worker no eye ntomo ani bibia all party enti ana nani akoda hono no in the first place and for ani de be mom ye de kofa education ministry ana ye de kwa akose ministry of you can say youth employment ana say youth empowerment that one na ye nua be ma pabro wono wo si ye we say ubedi ade yi your project any enyoma na Ghana for ehwe wo si bi ni yakwan sem a oyi nani eto nchen no and the central pad mpo and your can and nya ade na hia Ghana for at this moment but on enim senti a oso ope oso yes ade no when za dan no a oda si obe nam Takoradi say oba be market circle what in one sem a was obe interchange was ka what in one sem a and he say your rest ankrofo nyina otimi say entro and nada akohwie and adana na mewe near air cross war parliament anyway you are John state of the nation address any ntora kwabra na ehwe mo anim a wo twa ne nsem a wo kanyina ase bo Ghana fo ye ho abro ye die ho awu ede ne asa akofa ohawasa beti ase ye kwamu a afi ye pam a enye yie he sa bere me no kasai ye rose awdo pia aka na nke ya wi anka ye ma ya dwene ko so a ede emfudie ede enuane ede emfaso ema ye kan say your product etima eden akwa animu aban ne se da bi wono enwuma hu yanko an obeden obeto asa hu yanko an obeden obesa fansa enye ne dia an obeje ndi we no we are born say osi wo twa ne say wo de ya to aso akobe say 4 years ne beba ana abusumi ya ne beba because me nyane ntia say sa economy for be say distribution yan say ko NDC for office ne kono kwaje edimi am ye Ghana ni me dem akwa NDC office akwa kwaje sa central pad no na business had in kwa wosi unim say ye tan ko provision shop ana ye kom ya me mpo ye ma anase nua mana ya na tompo ye bi mo fere e bi mo say obi a be hu say ebo me boso me mpo aden aso nti o tompo a o fere na afere o be make the public enzabre ni ye ko ye na SHS anase ye ko GHS wono na ya bo adoman kana ye ura dwon ma say mo central pad na bo obi a e di anim kwa sem ni
Eto mampanyin na Ghana for elbow aporo nyina no. We ni ade na hiya Ghana for say ye to abase bra na be ya.
Wo fa yawo.
Yey.
Enkwada na wo no. Wo bia wo fu asoma do na ma say ontimi ntop pad ma ne ba.
Me oni senti on wo say ne tie.
292.4 million Ghana cedis.
And yeah, me maami o tie kura so kwa east. Obeti ase no osi. Financial when encanning 200 something billion all currency asem na ye kan yo. Na nyambie mi say ampa data be mpunu kura. Data be no wo man Ghana e sha ase o basic school. E be ano wo de kwafa university fa wo de kwafa
wo so de ma prime GHS any SHS for enkwa ema no and o de ema omo but ye bisa se enti eniema bi wo mamu ha ehu hia ana ehu hia ye de Osikani be ya ye de kokoye sa de wi faso be na wo we so
amemura beto na so
faso bi ani we so
kura emfa nche kutukuum ana ato ne akasa because asema menu mienu ye ken ne wo hwe ne o tie bisa no se enyem bia nti we na ye to aba ma ye wura dona ye to aba ma wa wonto ana obo se the cost of living in Ghana ayedene cement yentimi nto enti uba me ato ene me no ka cement eduru 1.2 e o mia baabi
yeah
ene me no ka se dokura na eye 4 cedi na eduru 7 cedi e o mia baabi ye fu ena ne ye ka wa se oil for gold that policy eba etimi ebo amafu ena ba na esotia no since ano 20% e be sha asa amia san atutu nyame adma manda ebe Ghana for area say free SHS na ona na do bo ama emabunu 5 point something enya aso mfaso no ebe koso akwa animu na school awodo ayesisi ye ne yakoso ayesi na Ghana ni bia enya entity eno ne first priority ana ye hwese OMAN MPUNTUO betimi ne sa aka no wawie ye first priority ana ye hwese agenda 111 na aka ne awie no ye bewie ma Ghana ni bia enya aso mfaso ye first priority ne ye hwese ye nuano ma awie school committee fie no ombenya adwuma ye first priority na national insurance ebetima ye adwuma na no ka se wo si enya adwuma yeah, we say enkrofo ne dadare so health insurance e fa won ka no and OMAN MPUNTUO me ati say and ontua ne ontua 20 say yade ne bia yewa konokowu we any abaye to ye we ne mfaso ye benya na we ne bekoso we nyanti Ghana for no say yetena sene bi say eje mistake ne aye enye mi nyanti ka go state for to aba mo no efuto be no de ma yura don ma ama se me ne nimpo anka woni omo adi nimpo anka sa we mo mfa ne sanka because ma Ghana for hia ne bi nie Ghana we dey benya potable water sabri agaram say agent ha am 275 your forex ayewo ye say 44 amanfo atiesi ma ye gbo nkofo dini say o na sabri o ma gie aguma o mo eye no e dey na wutu anamo e dey afa ho wenya dey hia Ghana ni bi anyame ye na dom otumi ewo ba de o si o when that's with my no provide and maybe an be hia essential ye can say commodities ana e factory trace there Obata bi abet na pa ne boyan enye 10 cedi enye 12 cedi when ni ade obata ndimi nto eno no pressure dia beto ho se enam se wo pe bibi adi ama amanfo enye bi adi ntino we na oba beto Ghana for se abaye tu ye ne enya so mfaso a ye hu no ani enya so mfaso a yumba de ye ka kire OMAN MPUNTUO ni se project obehye ye bo Takoradi market sector ye kan no omra no mawie interchange a ye chance ye ba mawie no omra mawie den e ma ye Takoradi agran kwanta kwan no omra e mawie market sector na say ye project ayeye e was secondary na omra mewie efia kwanta redevelopment teaching hospital no omra no mewie na other project OMAN MPUNTUO dada chance ye no onwie na Ghana for ye won to esen se ne wo kana afa die e na ada ne ntoro na do so okurum ya dodo
wo fa ya maye na se 33 minutes gone past 5 adwumre ma ntia kwakuakuafo nyina ya chiamo papa akoko na yesika pa ya chiachia mo pa ma ya dwumaso pa na metia kokko akuafo pa na ma mosa aniya ene na nka manchio mo kura no ankeye yentie we mra
Esansa campaign NDC abanye ye nti e ma ye nya ahoden sononko se ye to aba no NDC na obetue kokko mu maye na ye nyesika nti no kwasem ye ni da ntumu no so pa kokko akuafo ye ni da so na no kura me frɛ yi di wa nkran se ye de ye kokko agu ho ye twa ntumu no se be ba na ya ton ya de nti omonye no omuntu maye na ye nyesika ntwe ye ho ntumu no de ye hwe kwan pa se ye wura dwoma ama wanto kokko mama ya ye ni bebere ebe ha ye mpa nti ye sere no onto koko mu maye sense se bo no asan kɔ n'anim bi nti ntomo no de yɛhwɛ anim sɛ wotomo maye
Oma mas na omoye time na omoye campaign no sɛ wɔsɛ amansan edwa so no utimu miɛnsa omakua ni mienu no ɛne akuafo mu hwɛ ni mu so ontum nkɔ bɛsɛn
ne wɔka yɛ na yɛhwɛ ne sɛ wobetum saa maye
mu pɛbɛ 7,000 plus
70% na wɔka yɛ ne de ɔmfa maye ɛno ka ho bi na mabunu no mpeku adwuma no ɔmo mpeku ku adɔ no sanse ɔmo hu sɛ ɔmo de ɔmo hyɛ ma sika ne ketewa bi na ɛbɔ ɔmo nsam nti ne ɔbɛkɔ akɔpɛ adwuma foforɔ a obenya sika sesi ato no nti wɔma ka ato yɛti mama na ayɛ da yɛhwɛ anim sɛ ɔmo de ɛbɛma yɛ
sɛ abano antuma na sɛ wɔfa ma mbɛ dɛ mbɛtu dia na
yɛde bɛdi ne ho yɛ pa no kwasɛm ne ɛha yɛn sesi akura ne da so sɛ wɔtom ne ne kyene yɛ ama yɛ nti sɛ wantuma ɛbɛha koko akuafo ɔnto bo no mma
okay no koko akuafo yɛ kyia mo sika yɛ a wo so de kɔtɔ sanitary pad ka wo de ma koko akuafo no ananka yɛ dɛn anyway yɛkyia koko akuafo no so na yɛkyia abosuo kan koko mpefo nyinaa no spare parts dealers fo nso yɛkyia mo magazine fo yɛkyia mo yɛgidi pa hwɛ mo ho yɛ ɛne mo kɔ na mo kɔkra ne yɛma no a ɛboɔ no bibia yɛ kama yɛkyia mo afei ɛne yɛ freight forwarders no importers no mo nso yɛkyia mo exporters nso yɛkyia mo pa ɛnɛ dollar na te sɛn yɛkyia mo nyinaa a driver unions fo nyinaa no yɛkyia mo adwumaso a mo yɛ ɛnɛ mo bɛte so aba upompo bɛte so aba etino yɛkyia mo nyinaa fam ngobuo no sɛn ɛnɛteɛ sɛ nyame yɛ adomo a dabe next week wo 17th alliance fo ne sɛ wo mo to cash ntwade ebuo mu wo ha mo bupan aduonu 20% ana wo mo de to so yɛkyia driver fo nyinaa yɛkyia mpa mo yɛ adwumaso pa entino mo te ɛyɛ adwumaso a mo yɛ ɛso aba enumere ma menchia Bronat ɛyɛ Kasapa FM wo enkran wo se utie pa Bronat ye chiao me kai pa Spice FM ne ade nipa nanti wo fa nipa nanti nipa nanti fikesi mu nipa nanti pa Bronat ba bia wo bia no enchia kese enko emfa emma wo fa ya kokofo ensem yi sima enum di hun komo kakra watie di omoka wo se jo mahama yeye campaign no wo so mbo se aban dada no a wo peja koko bottle from 475 and about 3,100 no wo wia koko akuafo di no wo mo nto abantia no wo mo nto abama NDC wo ba ene ye entumu no se bafua 70% wo de be mo and I'm so cry mo hodu koko no omo change o mahama wo ba ye nsu no kosen
Oscar menchia edatibu da ko Pentecost eda na enese the late Dr. Paubo Tiasia ka mema ye de nanwom no ato ase wa say magina nkonson so ato kurotwa mansetu wosi ase wa anyima ye na nakotere famba na me de aba akọ na ene ye mame mo piafo na se abasa eba ne sen ye maame no mo ye akuafo no epentem tie nsem a enye no kware ana omo edi akire obeka ye papa agric minister ye papa Eric Opoku oye bunu ne ndehye emapa ehase ne yewra ato forcing Philip kwa ache ekọ baabi a ye kokọ adwuma nyina eka se ebo abandada na adone Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bamyom tiri mo otere nanka kokọ no yatumu a anka ye mere omo 70% but se Ghana fo akuafo nso dwene hu mienu a komo se endis for na adafo because data no ekere se ye ba ne ye be sha ase free 470 ana Oscar ye de bobo na ebedu 31 million so that tells you say anka ye pobia yina ya anka ye NPP kenya NDC because omo kwa ba be sha ase no kwa no omo increment ne bia akwa enu aye 2% 3% but it no ko 25 it no ko 30 and it could do baby because ye magana 40 ase say koko no kwa amendwa so na akoto a wos ye tete ni o beberebe research ska wom oy bog distribution for any nsem kakra na ebedu sa abra aban ni gene munti no wa yesa na don't forget say wosi ebra ne papa Joseph wan edu woda no ana wode hand pollination ebaaye na ye say ye betiti kokoo no ye be mu enimdie na ye be kyerɛ empo o ma ye twom kokoo gu ye nyina mpo aban san duae etua o ka esan eduadua ma ɔreba na ade nyina ayeden esimu kyerɛ say wɔne mu nenam wɔdwen mu wɔne mu ebedi ne yie ana ye ntie enye hwe ento abode ye bɔ a wo kari ensam mienu no ha ba bia wo fa ebe den ebe bo because na de o e kan say saa bere na okoto kokoo a wo si wuntimi ntɔ cement okoye kokoo na wo kari a wuntimi ntɔ enchensen nti anani ade anom di gina so e de ka asempa na sa na tie de a ye tuma akodu 31 million no say yes cement na wo tɔ de abetuma tɔ adube 40 bags because that na enuru 1 million say enchensen de abetuma tɔ ato 3 packet e de ayi wadwuma endika we na nka ede anka ye hwɛ we ho na nka san ekodi na adafo ye chia anomo ekodi ye kire fine abansan na eden aba enti abansan ne ba ye no enam nsem omo ka kire omunti no eda so ehye omuti ma omo eden omo 20 ebra ye papa agric minister etwa ntro e parliament say ebo na sika bi da ono metwa se hwe ne yi front anu nti no de eda social media nyina ye ka ho asem no enembem ana second ebram kwa yom si wo no ana ni wo ka say sa randi abe no kokoo duane banchi duampo nim sonsone a ewom that tells you say ni pan example a ne beda kokoo boda no no eba no kokoo nsem kokoo aduma na onte ase ni akoba na sa akoye sebe mo nim a wako be na ni efra say o ma ekire okwan ne yankwa wo si nya amana na mo kwakotuma e do mo di kan hu say gota na nka ye di kan na ewuram bat ene ma ada no asem nti no ene yeguso a ye 20 years say kokoo no ma nton na ya de pa because na say mitimi botton wotwe na aye 7,000 dia it means me ko animu ana me kora be close to be 70,000 Ghana na me di ekofi emu oduye enti na me di ko na matwen because ye aduani sija so a wo twen na be na ye enti no wo munya abone koko ye na nton ye di ko no na ya twen di price no e do di egu onu do mo twen ma say nyame ya no September kwa anwa ne o March akabusu mi nsia na September na ye aba na yakoto enti no eni obi a career eni wona o si ekoduru wona say 7,000 na memu a woni say ma me bitum gboko ojan koja danto koja o wo bero nyina ade akere na what intesko kwa akere say he wontumi ne emedi koto na me hoto aguro bi o my god o enyem bi asma aka na to yetirim ye de ho atoso ndi gogo aguafo ye de ye bon pese memu obi anto na no monse do munya abotara mo ntana mo hwe enkwaji a ye wura do ma hama de ba be okay o fa ya ba ye da se womu dua mo ho bonti saa na woro oti wiase no wati bida wati sampani nsem we bida nipa no ono be ka che ose obi a wono abetumu from 475 dia ba 3,100 ne ye nipa bone no na breso no dudu ase no de to so awrade ha ayo ye nyina ye tim ma hodu ko ma hwe nyame ani ma hodu ko na guo akoto abetia Dr. Lajma Mudu amiaka ho wa mbetim jejireje. Hello, good evening.
Hi, Oscar.
Nana oniye.
Oscar nana.
Nana yentie wanyumri.
Edika mamintia ejeni na mbona papa. Na menya akwenje Oscar mamintia incoming national chairman. Bernard Enchimbusi akon akwa bebia wo bia anya mintia no. Enumre. Oscar yaka je Ghana for antia de she 280 million Ghana cedi. 200 billion asem na ye kanu. Omo de kwa koto pad. Na pad na ba ko yese. Iska pad ba ko yese. Amoyi 280 billion. Mo de kwa koto pad. Enye kro no amu pese mo bo man Ghana sa de we. Aban be no be sa de we. We have better and better issue e wo ho. I say na ka ye solve. Agenda 111 guo. Sa si ken ntumi nkosi mu a. Ko tumi fa sa ska ni bi nkwaye. Asa Ghana for yankasa say na see pen ya kwakofa ba. Yan chiro. Amelo chan e do.
All right, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Osikani na today.
Manfred me hoya pa onso e.
Yankopon godulisha. Mami chia mebeda ejeni mboati. Mami chia anya safo 88 awo parliament no. Nchia woni na nchia chama unti be income national chama. Na nchia anta with the redevelopment yan president. Samuel Kojo Grace akwani ya guy off. Now, Osikani you know I'm NDC for some work for sanity pad I was say well kwa sanity pad about cheza moscow from the two the why there they be able one there when need special intervention there the free SHS about the restaurant kuku ndina wants what they baba nei chanka sabe obi a wona ba na wakwa na adoria na by first day ni ba fere ko wafana supermarket yo ade we meko koto ebodi abana wo so te ma wo ba nti meko akora na do wala yi sanity pad na one also do nto awon Ghana fo we boni ayo enye Ghana fo na so ko wo ko na free education ni ko be botu etua akonna wa na sanity pad one pa na wa ba complain afaba be na echa no from there anko school another abedi also menyes kanto sanity pad obi anto sanity pad of one do mama of one na yenu anoma wo ye wo di okoko no ninya we di a obo enyibire a aka me yusu ma won
hello good evening Masa Enoch nie
Babo Belmadi Manager Director General Jinimboati na me fa nche mo di fama la ya bo ama amansa bo for bo juma wafia unse la ya bo ama ko en first to obi abanya 20 years in parliament na me ayen chaye na kwajobi wa ko njanu ni wo juma hanta we this year wo bo ama youth so anya juma na me cha kwajobi unse ofika and this budget ya ba campaign budget you enye hwe wa fitia na to aba budget na mo do ba e no ofika ha kan se budget ya ba yi o report ene aduane yedi na ye krade ba kate entare eche nye na ma eniema bo aye di na aban etima nka bibi amfa budget ho o hwe kuya ho ntama aba no ai kate no de po no aka ate o de nkwankete o ti di share budget ma o di share mu no kakre bi na o kan de fa o ye nuanu ma adon de yi o mu wie university abana etima nche se ebi oba be isi 1 to 1 ba no se no de wonya enko ho ebi e ka kire Ghana fo ya ni ato abade ama mahama ejide ye betlem ni abom pa ye se nyankofo da ya duma so no to na no MPD ye beta ba power le ka se budget we dia ye ko to ku ma ye ina ye pam pa bo ente na nyama nti ko ye empa ma ye tani anu ye ji
woni nyame entina hello good evening
hello
mami udin ba bi free
I'm Japanese friend, Mammy Yako.
Ye, me, I'm Mammy Bako pet. Mammy, I put to say,
Yamia Dumo now, so
yes, what do me when you're pa, my pacho yen tear when you read.
You. Previous young, yes, two travel Takoradi to now we need Nambia. Now we need Nambia. Ghana for your cattle here, and Mofra, ye, you were my dear fear, Jumamu Samri. Kwalana menkaya a year into 2015 ana san kwalana tro JHS amekai se omukọ tro ye bi na ma ye twa wo mo so mu ni ade sa party na sa be pie joma ama ai na atele bia ye sa kwala pade kokwa ahia ye de damanam ekyere no you fune ka ho titiri na ye betu atia ani ko ba yen me dokuru ni mentina mba akupe asumio na mona fe na mo tabra bose hwemi akwafotia nenne mutama pani Muhammad mika trese wo ye campaign entro na de frafram enu kwa na de frafram no nipa we be kasem tra na Ghana fo ye di akire papa mami fancy no bin kasa bi wai me da ase
yanso ye da ase mami nyako hello good evening.
Good evening, Osika.
Ye, what do you need?
Become a killer. I didn't travel.
101.3.
I'm going to we take the power. You levy, if you levy a few, you levy 1%. 1%. Oh, only a book. Or you will yes, you 1%. I told you, we get transaction there. Make sure you try 15 pesos, 20 pesos. Wait, you more in same amount. Just say, oh, body they will be beer as one for say. If a phone call, they will say, Abana Yadi, when you 15%, and you 15 pesos, after the transaction, so 20 pesos, you 20 pesos of phone call in fact. Wait, why Yadi? But we have the millions and thousands of cities I check our for in school fees. But if you cry for different in the square of French class, they are permanent in school. I don't know what I don't know. Something about me funny now. About pop Baunia. I'm more or the buyer. Your man who call exams, a good try in China was he. Ghana the top here.
So I just put up a Ghana yadi free education tea. And then most of you will say you have to adjust from say when you 20%, 15% of fluency, you want some a bang way, a memo way. Ghana for you know I say young guys Ghana pay that's why.
Accra so that's good evening.
Good evening.
Of our D baby a free fee.
But Osika no from Communal Council. The case of Takoradi.
Uncle Spy NTO.
Yo, Omana ye wo me enum paying for bin Mohammed dey em peda ye baka no kware. Ye president no kada na nado na ban free SHS nje obaya nka esikafo no won ban mama won go free school no free ya. Wo bom nne sikayi ne ba epeda to pa this man ana margin no ko correct
correct pa ofa
margin no ko ye ana
ko ye pa
free SHS na every year mo biara Ghana for yes politicians will use sika wo diska na nado sika na here mo si yedin oye to ye no kwa so onye no kwa mo so me mo free SHS obi anko bi na 75% of our population here underpaid. Yen na yedo ya da so na yedo yen ko free SHS what's on here it's careful when you want film in the akoto part and school for onye corruption onye sika no wote no wi a osika ben na Ghana for here da mi inye no so yen yim da oye no para na onye no kwa yetima what the CEOs na no nkaka una dinya obi atina wa academia obi atina wa kana no atum what the na de abe osika won bu ama papa yi onwu do ye no onwu do nye na dinya ma ori ye pampas de wana abe sika yi no ntum ento man ba abe sika yi no ntum ento pampas man ba koko fu no wolusun osika nya membo
amen yeah that's it I think say the Freddy be see say na Uncle Spy asem o kadi twa to say and ye more President John Dramani Mahama because the eka kone ni enyan na Uncle Spy hwe say utu President John Dramani Mahama fo a NDC fo no ma TSU so atem didie pa agrofo we edidi ye wo fia say na nya de kitwa o say social media no so ye live stream yi ubekọ na atem didie pa message line no text message no WhatsApp me ye atem didie pa e de ntia bone be na ya ye tu President John Mahama fo na ya twe na adwen si bo sha hodo a wo share Ghana fo no eso se Jack o ba no se na wo kan yo ntini ye kai eno so ni ho atem didie over ya eni enyan yo o me atimu
ye mpe no
chese bibia tantantan ase ya adwen no basa ya adwen nye kra edie dia so no edie no na me wodi matamu a wonya hwi yo
na bi
ajenkwa Yesu Kristo kra no hwede edie no ndi wodi matamu a emfa me ho wonya me hute you see ye mpe no kra wo mamu ha se kra ye mpe no kra o ene ya so one more dear trust what him the dear so and you say I normal. Anyway, what I had in Kobani see or final words now
and kona wow papa chama Franket. O se menchana memo abaso. Yo na obo adwuma adwuma kama. Em say ye to abawie me ne watena ha empempi na wo ka asemi say oman Ghana nko ane oman a say we journalist no say amanyo kuo bi nsam ye papa na wudi akira na ye di watem and omko so ntra social media na omuni yatem oman ka sa ba ye to no within 2 months na omahunu ma bone ayi wo mu a omo a esu say ye wi ayi si fo ma ye no wana tem kwankwa ani ase ana omo a anu omo a omo den omo esu but ye de ne ye kan say oman panyini kan sem bebre ena ma ye Ghana fo de ebi ne koko fo de ebi ne so no aka say ye ma esikafo emma enko private school afedi ono ase oba first year no ode ye kan sen first year for betua om school fees eno so awontua o se awofo no go peska ntua na akirei o peska dia den e dia mom endi ebisi awon se na ensema wo ka no entan enzi ono aka say people with disabilities omo access to free tertiary education say anyambia no abema na say dey ememu o kan say garamse no ba obechichi amanfo ade Kumasi amanfo so kire say afempo na nsuo no asai kura esen kane no anyambia waya na so ede wonye o kan say o ma Ghana mabunu anya aduma afi oba ye no oyi Ghana mabunu fo ede edi o kan say oba ma 24/7 hour economy na ye afi ni policy no wa firi wa tima ede amara me ti be chere Ghana fo say ye ne ane eto ye ntem na enwom na obi boy sapre na eye mo de call maso di mo anfemu aba na mkoto ye ni wa di dokuna chi no dokuna ye mafomo na nimu na ekọ afi wanu nti ye be chere Ghana fo say ye nya akomapa na ye mo mpa ma yura mama say bia bibi nkoyi a ye mpa ebo be me na si ye mom sene say ye be ja na nkoba ne sa de a ba de me di wie ni say tirisifo mo sene enka afemu amere bi na mo ye press conference ahodo on demonstration say dey wusa afi do ne China fo gina Frasa house ebi say say nyi won fonyi no be frem keke afi dia China delegation no kwesi prada de kwa okay
thank you on this note no ya de ene enkomo ni nyina na esi ase ye na eye team ni nyina ase adwuma so a mabọ nyame onhua mo agye ni mboaten ye da ase papa afi ye miamu so no nsia bọ a abna se wa mani ampo chema ba wo mo de nyuma no nsia brem kase bọ enso ebeba asemo ye ken ba kopẹ wuhia onu asreche na chia ni pa nsehwe ye nche na ni pa de mi 6 feet eye adakatia dum ye ne a o tena fiada inhia na ye ntoa so good evening